so I'm gonna start recording now. Okay, hi guys, this is Mattjestic Gaming, and I'm bringing you here another high rank gameplay, which I just had last game. We were fighting with people in world top 100 spots with Tides of Time and Dark Blue here. And we had a really solid game, so I really want to explain a bit, and the guys in chat will really want me to explain because I didn't have my mic on during the game because it was so intense. I didn't want to multitask during the game. So let me try to do a quick explanation. This one a bit shorter than compared to the other ones. I'll highlight a few points for this game. So the first point for this game is we did roll into goblins early, so we got 4 goblins before round 4. Second point for this game is we're rolling as usual with my usual strat. We're really hoping that we get any pair or any 2-star. Right now we got the Beastmaster, we got a few things, so it wasn't the best start for us, and just luckily enough the matchup worked, so I'm gonna skip a bit. And as you know, I'll be rolling for units, and I only rolled into a Tinker, so which was just acceptable. Over here, I'll show you. Over here was the first decision making. I saw a Tinker, a Clock, and a Beastmaster. I know I need a Beastmaster, but I know I don't need a Beastmaster down. I know if I bought the Beastmaster now, I'm stuck. So what I need to do is I need to buy the Tinker first, to forage the Tinker. Then I need to decide what unit am I going to sell. I'm going to sell the AM here. I'm going to sell just 1 because I know if... Actually, I'm going to be selling 2 because I know... So here, why did I put the Beastmaster instead of the AM? Was because I want to have the ability to sell the AM for the Beastmaster if I win. That is the only reason I'll put the Beastmaster down instead of AM. Because there was about 6 people using demons right now. As you can see, it's a CK here. And this fight was really close actually. Let's skip a bit. It got so close, my Tinker was on, over here my Tinker was on 222 damage increase stack from the Batrider. So 2 hits from the Batrider will kill us. 1 hit, 2 hit, it didn't kill us. And it was so close because we had enough armor. Look here, we were on 225 damage increase. So that was a close fight to get our Beastmaster. So over here, this is the round which I think I am weaker, but I opt for the Queen of Pain for the burst damage, which was really good. And looking around, I knew there were small demons on the board, so it was better for me to have Anti-Mage to reduce enemy damage instead of having the Queen of Pain to have burst damage. 2 reasons why. Goblins and mercs, they can regenerate, and if I can sustain the fight, I'm doing really good because I keep regenerating. We also have the nanobot buff that we're regenerating. So on top of that, if my Anti-Mage can lock down a unit, we're really beneficial because we want to have a long-lasting fight. So we don't need a burst right now. What the demon counters us is pure damage. They go through our armor, and no matter how much armor with nanobot, we might be focused on. So over here, we found the demon, and it turns out he's a demon player. So he had 2 demons, a Terrorblade and an Anti-Mage. Too bad we didn't get to see the Terrorblade doing his new skill because it just got updated. The new Terrorblade skill of swapping health with the highest health ally. So I'm gonna skip a bit. Over here, second decision making was here. So seeing how I am currently on 100% health and I'm on winning streak, and knowing how I'm versing the highest tier players on Discord and I think around the world, they are Queen players and they are pretty much veterans. So I know that I can wait for next turn to level up and I can be rolling on this turn. But looking at what units I have a 2-star Tinker, I have a 2-star Clockwork, I have 1-star Anti-Mage, and 1-star Bounty Hunter. So those are the units that's going to stay on the board no matter what I roll. The only upgrades I'll be looking forward to is an Anti-Mage or 2 Bounty Hunter. After buying those 2, I'm on 5 gold. I can sell the Shadow Shaman for another additional gold, but I can't sell anything more. So that means if I make a roll now, I'll be down to 4 gold by selling the Shadow Shaman, and that is not enough gold for us to level up. I preferred the safer option to keep our winning streak, so I leveled up here with the 5 gold. This was one of the crucial decision making, I assume, because if we rolled and we didn't hit the Anti-Mage or the Bounty Hunter, we're much weaker with 4 units instead of 5. Usually I would have waited for 1 more turn to capitalize on the lower rate of lower tier units for level 4. Because that's where we get all of our units to start. So here we're fighting, and luckily enough we had a good formation. See, as I was saying, they have units, and if they don't do enough damage, all of a sudden our healing from the mercs and from the nanobot is just so much sustained that they seem to be unpenetrable, we're like uncurable. But once we get focused on one by one, that's when we start losing the skirmish. Let's skip a bit. And this turn was one of the God Road turn that really secured us the top 3 position. We got Anti-Mage, we got Beastmaster. So this was such a good upgrade. The only thing we need was Bounty Hunter. But this was such a good upgrade at this round of the game, because we have the Demon Counter, we have the physical damage dealer, and we have the sustain attacks. I was really happy. I was like thanking the RNG gods. So I'm gonna skip a few over here. So here I'm trying to inter-exchange demons, and so I haven't changed my lineup since that. So 2 things happened here I want to describe. We're gonna be fighting things and we're not getting any items, to be honest. 2 things. So here I'm sitting on 10 gold. And seeing another Bounty Hunter, what I really wanted is to match up the Bounty Hunter, the Queen of Pain, or the Clockwork. So I'm sitting on 19 gold. I'm sitting on full health. I wanted to punish those players who were saving, so I wanted to be rolling. And after rolling once, we didn't get anything. I saw a Lycan, so I'm thinking I have 12 gold. If I roll again, I'm still sitting on 10 gold if I miss. I roll again, and it just happens. We hit the not so good jackpot. This jackpot at this stage is actually devastating in terms of savings, but it's great in terms of pair matching for the mid game. So I opt for the mid game because I know goblins are much weak in the mid game, and I know I can still sustain, and I don't need the additional income because I'm on a winning streak. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be selling my Tinkers. Notice how after getting a 2-star Tinker, I stopped collecting Tinkers. That is my top priority to sell, other than units that I don't need, because Tinkers are really irrelevant in the late game unless you get to 3-star. And it's very hard to get to 3-star because there's so many priorities. I want my Clock, I want my Tinker. Oh no, I want my Clock, I want my Bounty Hunter, I want my Timber. So I sold enough units. I also sold the Beastmaster because I figured Beastmaster is such a popular unit and people are going to be picking him. Knowing there's only a limited number of Beastmasters and I already have a 2-star, it is getting harder to get Beastmaster. And as you can see, this is an Orc player. Timbersaw, another hard decision making here. So right now, we can't level up because we're at 3 out of 16 experience. We don't have 15 gold to level up to free up a slot. Right now, the difficult part is what units am I going to sell? This is just something I really want to touch on. This is because 2 things. I could be selling 1 unit, but that is devastating because looking at here, let me go back for a second. So let me show you the units without the unit blocking. Okay, we can't see it. But what's happening here is we have a Queen of Pain that's matched up here. We have a pair of Lycan, a pair of Razor, pair of Clockwork, pair of Bounty Hunter. This is really annoying right now. I don't have the gold to level up, and I really need this Timbersaw, which you'll see he'll come to great use later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the Bounty Hunter. This is a nice trick I used to do with low ping, but I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to be rolling. I'll be rolling all my gold in searching of those 5 pairs. Once, twice, I'm getting desperate now. 3 times, I finally hit a pair, which is a really good upgrade, a Razor. So I'm going to take the Razor back, put down the Bounty, move the Queen of Pain back. So now, what am I thinking? I look at the items on my Queen of Pain. I need every bit of the win streak chance I can. And although I'm on a pair of Queen of Pain, I don't think there's any unit on the board I can replace. Even that 1-star Bounty Hunter is necessary for the nanobot buff at this point of the game. So I'm going to sell the Queen of Pain for the item. So just so that we get additional item to be fighting. Because I really need a win streak. Also there's a Long Druid, so we can't refuse a Long Druid. So we're fighting and we're winning. We're going to be winning for a few rounds. This time we found our second Clock, 2-star. So we're going to be, so notice how now I'm not sitting on a lot of gold. And I think friends in the chat were saying check how everyone else is doing, because this Bulletins guy, the second guy, everyone's doing really well right now. They're making massive savings while I'm actually spending a bit, because most of our gold we use on rolling and rolling for the Razor. So right now I'm going to show you how much gold they have. So this is how I think some of the top tier players really play to their advantage. Not only do they have lots of saving, they also are in a really good spot. But you know, sometimes it's just top RNG. He has 39 gold at round 13 and he's 100% health. This guy has 29 gold, 11 gold, Tides has 29 gold, FY have 23, 39 and 39. Notice how the players on the bottom, because they are top players, regardless what position they're in, their gold income reflect that. If they're in the bottom, they make themselves having a losing streak, so they exchange health for gold. On the top players will have gold and health, and in the middle players they'll have around okay saving and middle health. So every player is comfortable where they are, except us, because we spend most of the gold rolling for a power spike, that we want to spike a little further than them to get more winning streak. So right now we have the lowest saving, we have good health, so it's considered like half-half. So I'll be swapping my units around. Here I made a little mistake because I thought it was round 15, turns out it's round 14, and it just happens this position of Lone Druid paid off this time. I think this is what baited me in the later round. I'm gonna skip later. This is my position for the wolves. As I mentioned earlier, we want our tanks to be in this corner, DPS on this side. So we're gonna fight the wolves with relative easiness because our tanks are positioned well and Lone Druid gets the bear off. So because I saw earlier that Lone Druid being in the front got the bear off, I'm into the dilemma that maybe he gets his bear off again. And I even gave him some items, thinking that if he gets his bear off, he's much more valuable than anti-mage. And it just happens. The first time I put a Lone Druid there, not only did our tank get tossed back, so he couldn't do the battery assault, and Lone Druid died before he gave his bear off, so we lost our winning streak. This was very damaging for us to have a good chance of winning. Again, we leveled up here after losing. So the idea, I think I explained once earlier in the chat before I recorded, was so that we know that I took the Lone Druid back right after we lost that game, that round that is. The idea is we have lost to one person and we don't want to keep losing health. We want to be winning. Even though we're on 50 gold, I'm willing to lose 1 gold of saving to have a higher chance of winning. Because my lineup was so solid, I have enough 7 units to be on the board that are solid enough, that are 2 stars of really good synergies, that it's not worth it for me to be risking for 1 gold of interest here. It's rather worth it for me to level up to level 7 and try to sustain as high health as possible. Here we'll be winning a few fights because we have some of the 7 strongest units. And again, back to saving we go, because we know we can't get to level 8. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll be planning most of my savings into round 21 for the power spike to level 8. What I'm planning to do is first I'm going to plan the units I want to get, the units I'm going to sell in the storage, and what units do I want to replace, what units do I need. I'm going to skip forward to the next part, which you see crucial round after 20. So round 21, we got to round 21, we got a Blink Dagger, which is pretty interesting. We have been saving for round 21, so now we're going to spend all of our gold, even under 50, and we'll be rolling. And for those of you who have seen the replay of the stream earlier, you know what the surprise is. I believe in my APM, so I even rolled for Enchantress and Self-Solter. We got a Techie at 1%, which is a very good God tier roll. So right now we need to act fast. We need the 6 goblins that needs to be on the board. I was in a rush, so I took down Razor instead of Lycan. But we were out of time, and due to about 200 pings with NI servers, I think the speed was acceptable. So afterwards, something I want to mention is, seeing how we have a Razor that's sitting there and a Lone Druid that's about to be 2-star, I'm selling the rest of my demons and everything so I get as much saving as I can, because I know I need the extra slot to get to level 9. So we'll be winning and losing a few fights even with the Goblin synergy. This is because around this time, typically we lose to 50% without Goblin techies. And we're losing or winning just barely because everyone's quite strong now. And just to pause here, the person. The person on the leaderboard, Bulletin's here, he has gotten a 3-star anti-mage and a 3-star CK already, I think, at this point of the game. And he is unstoppable. So right now I'm not planning to go to first position, I'm planning to come top 3, and I think we're comfortable with top 3. So even with techies, we're losing. So this was a sign. I have 2 choices here. I can spend off my gold to level up to level 9, and I can wait for level 25. Waiting for level 25 means I'll be gaining interest on level 24 and level 25. So I'll be getting 10 additional gold, and I think I have enough health to do that. Even though we lost pretty massively on this round. Got a gyrocopter, excellent. And the downside is we don't have the best start for the gyrocopter, so we took the liking back, I think. And we're fighting. With the help of Gyro, we managed to win the fight. Round 25 is pretty straightforward. Round 26, let me show you how much gold I have for round 26. I'm sitting on 49 gold, and I'm on level 9. Now there's a few things I can do. I can do what everybody else does, is sitting on my interest and staying on 50 gold. But I really don't want to be losing any more health right now. My aim is the top 3 position. If I lose to the first guy, I'll lose massively. So I want every bit of chance to be having the top tier units and having extra units on the board. So what I'm going to do is I spend all my gold, getting to level 10, even though it wasn't the best experience spot, I think. We're on 5 XP back then. So we're going to be rolling. We're looking for any purple, anything for this round. So we found the Keep Up the Light. Koto is not the best thing, but you know, anything that helps with our damage dealing, because we deal a lot of less damage because goblins, but we're doing a lot of tanky. So here it just happens we've bumped into the top guy. As you can see, the 3-star CK and the 3-star anti-mage and 2-star dudes are no joke. So because I think our Keeper of the Light and everything, our Clockwork actually, I was gonna say he won the fight with first, then CK just denied him. So second row, I'm sitting at 6% legendary roll rate, which is very nice. I'm gonna buy the Enigma, which is the top row, really increase our damage. And so yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'll be saving unless I really need a unit, because I know any unit upgrade will be really nice. I do need a Timber Saw though, but it's very minimal. So right now we're winning our fights. So I'm gonna skip a bit. We got a Timber Saw and I'm gonna rearrange a bit. One thing I really liked, and I think maybe I need to adjust a bit as a habit, is the positioning of my Tinker. My Tinker is positioned here for the sole reason being, when the fights are lost, the Tinker will be the last line of defense for the gyrocopter, and before the fights are won, if there's an assassin, there's a half chance the assassin will be attacking the Tinker instead of the gyro. If there's 2 assassins, one will be hitting the Tinker, one will be hitting the gyro. So they actually charge the gyro. So I was in preparation for assassins, or if we're losing the fight really badly, the Tinker can still tank the gyro for maybe another cooldown. But sometimes we want the Tinker to be in the front to be doing extra tanking. So it's a hard choice sometimes. But I think I stick with this one for now, and then even to the late game. We'll win the fights because we have level 10 Goblin Synergy and some decent damage. Here I think I was replying to chat. Each time we find the first guy, we lose pretty heavily, because he has some of the best synergies and some of the stronger 3-star units. Now notice here, our Clockwork right now actually has the Blink Dagger I got. And with the Blink Dagger, what I want to do with the Clockwork is I want the Clockwork to be jumping to the back line to blink onto the units like DK, especially DK. I want the DK to be attacking the Clockwork, so his splash damage is not hitting our units in the front line. I give all the items to techies because I want him to get his bomb off. I know there's a Doom, so I want him to be in the front, soaking up more damage. And if I didn't get those tanky items, what I'll do is I'll put him in between 2 units. Because I got 2 HP items and 1 ultimate orb, I think he's strong enough to get the bombs off. Let's have a look what happened in this fight. So yeah, they have a Tide, they have a Disruptor, a Techis is silenced, Doom, then yeah, he never got anything off. The good thing is over here, I'm gonna go back for a sec. Let's see. The good thing is here, my Clockwork was covering this line and my Bounty Hunter covered that line. So what happened was, DK was distracted for a long period of time, so his damage wasn't dealt to the front line, and then he went to the clockwork. So most of the AoE damage that was dealt not to the front line, otherwise I would have lost further. So I noticed that we're losing still, so I spent some of my saving for any upgrade, and I did get an upgrade. I'm moving the clockwork to this side, so if there's any unit, he'll attack and blink forward on this side to distract the DK. Let's have a look. We found the first guy again. See, notice how the clock is at the back line? With the buff and his battery assault, he actually does a chunk of damage to the back line and also distracts them from hitting my front line, so they get the spells off. Even the anti-mage was distracted. Over here, this is the last line of defense, so I'm hoping Gyro gets one more off, but he didn't. So right now we're actually sitting on the top 3 position, which was what I was planning for. So we'll be rolling for things. I'm keeping the Tide Hunter and the Druids just for additional investment of gold. I'm keeping the Tide Hunter because I wanted 2-star Tide Hunter, but knowing how he's got an anti-mage, I really don't want a 1-star Tide Hunter because it's hard for my Tide Hunter to get his Ravage off. I do want the Doocer. So right now we want to be on first position, and I'll put the Tide down to see if he ever gets his Ravage off, which he didn't. Attack his position correctly, did get the bomb off. So this is a part, I think the Tinker is tanking a bit for the Gyro, so we actually stayed long now to get some things off, and I was glad that he died. So I'm second place right now. Now I'm rolling. I really want a Tide Hunter or a Gyro upgrade, and I also put 2 techies down for some burst damage. So because he's got a Doocer, and goblins really need an initiate. If we don't have Titan and we don't have Doocer, their Doocer is going to step on us because we can't do burst damage, and she gets all her mana by sitting in the front. Here we did a pretty good job. Surprisingly enough, we actually managed to defeat him, our hold against him, and we actually are winning. So 3% versus 66%. It's about 10% chance I'll win this game because he can always be adjusting. As he adjusts, I have to adjust accordingly. So what happens here is I'm going to put my techie in the front, and I looked at his lineup before this, and his anti-mage is not at the front. But what he did was he baited me in by swapping his anti-mage to the front right after. Oh no, this is a dragon. So next round, what he did was he baited me in by swapping. Let me show you. So I looked here. I'm checking where his anti-mage is. I looked, his anti-mage is not on the right spot. So I'm putting my Timbersaw where his anti-mage will be. And what he did was, on the last second, because he saw my positioning, he's gonna next level me, mind game me by moving his anti-mage right on the last second. I'm looking at him. Last second he moved, and I knew I'm screwed. So because he moved his anti-mage, my techies is fully locked down. And yeah, as you can see, we're not going to having a terribly good time over here, and it just happens we survived this round. Let me show you. We survived this round. We're at 1 loss away from losing the game. We survived this round simply because the Clockwork is such a strong unit at the later game with the battery assault 1 vs 1. So we survived this round. I'm rolling for units, anything that helps me. So looking at his anti-mage, this time I wanted to swap against him. I want to swap my techies away. So I swapped the techies, so my Timber is going to be the tank, and I don't care if Timber gets banner burn. What I should have done here is I should have swapped the Timber with the Clockwork, because Timber is only level 2, doesn't have enough health to stay there. I should have swapped the Clockwork to the front, so I don't need the Clockwork to go into the back now. So let's see, this is a fight. Anti-mage locks down to the Timber. Goblin Techie needs to get his thing off, but he just sat in the corner of the cloud, of the silence cloud, and then after the Timber died, Anti-mage jumped right onto my techies, and that was the end of me. So we lost this one, and we lost the game. But it was a good fight, and because we did get some of the top rows, techies at around 21, but compared to the first guy, we're still less RNG compared to him. We did well this game. To summarize, it was because our plans to get win streaks and our method to be hitting power spikes at certain levels, and our late game arrangements were planned so that we have enough damage for our 6 goblins. Notice how I need damage dealers: Beastmaster, Razor, Gyrocopter. I need damage dealers. So this was a decent game. Although we did come second, we got back this account to Queen, and yeah, because this is a short recording, so I think I explained a few things, and if anyone has any questions, please leave in the comment below and I'll try to answer you when I see it. So thank you for listening, and hopefully this helped you. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.